to you. I gotta get to you.
hello, and welcome, Rocket League fans. We are here and we are live. The NECC Rocket League Week 3. A lot of E's in that one. Is now here and now live, Pyro. I'm FBI Tugboat. With me is Pyro J here on the day. Pyro, how you feeling?
Feeling good. I just played some Rocket League myself today, and there's a bug in the game today. You can't text chat in the game because they're changing the report structure. So we're doing our best to make sure players start on time today with the limited features that we have. But though we're limited, we're feeling empowered nonetheless. Division 3, Division 4 highlight matches to give to you all here on the main stream today. I'm excited.
Yes, yeah. We've been looking at a lot of Division 1, Division 2, and whatnot. We'll be looking at a whole lot of Division 3 and Division 4. Those of you who are familiar with myself and Pyro's casting, if you notice a bit of a somber kind of tone, there's a reason for that. The folks over at NECC wanted us to say a few words, so I'm going to do that now. Yesterday, a longtime friend of the Indiana Wesleyan esports program, Dylan Martinez, passed away. Dylan loved to play soccer and was also a starter on the Westfield High School Rocket League esports team where he went to school. Several of the current Indiana Wesleyan University team members were former teammates of Dylan's and got to experience firsthand just how Dylan's vibrant enthusiasm really brightened the days of all of those around him. And we'd like to take a moment of silence to honor Dylan Martinez and stand in solidarity with his friends and with his family. Thank you. Big shout out to Dylan Martinez. I should say, my heart goes out to Dylan Martinez and his family there, Pyro. Indiana Wesleyan coming on into this one. We'll be looking at a 2-0 team facing against Northwestern 1-1.
I did just want to say that between the soccer teams and the Rocket League teams, like you can see how heartfelt it is that this is a team sport, and there's a lot of chemistry that goes on both on and off the field for these players.
Pyro, I believe you're deafened in deafened Discord right there. Deafened Discord. We'll be taking a look. I'm not sure if you guys can hear the broadcast and whatnot.
I think you're good.
Am I deafened? Yeah. I can't hear you at all, Pyro.
Okay. Yeah, well, we'll slowly figure that out.
Up in Discord.
Yeah. Why don't we cut to a break? Sure. Thank you, guys. We'll see you in just a minute after this break.
And we are back. Sorry about that. Little audio issues. Not 100% sure what went wrong there. FBI Tugboat with Pyro J. Not sure just how much of this you were able to preview and whatnot, but Indiana Wesleyan 2-0 facing against Northwestern 1-1. Taking a look at Indiana Wesleyan, we were staring down the barrel of a squad that beat Illinois Wesleyan, another kind of similar name right there, 4-0. Yes, a 4-0 sweep right there, Pyro J. Then follow that up with a victory against Illinois 4-3, a rather close series indeed.
Yeah, I was talking about how much teamwork matters between all these players and the friendships that are growing in the game, and clearly Indiana Wesleyan University is a team that sports just that chemistry off the field and on the field. That sweep for their first Week 1 NECC matchup is fantastic to see, and well, they know their fair share of sweeps and close matches. Their second win was 4-3 in a Game 7, so we don't know much about Indiana Wesleyan University, as the mainstream coverage maybe hasn't featured them yet. But what we do know is that when they get wins, they do them every single way, close to the end of the game at Game 7, and in sweeping fashion as well.
Yes, that is going to be Ferry X, dribbles and twiz here for Indiana Wesleyan. Northwestern 1-1 on the season, lost 2-4 to Carthage, won 4-1 against Indiana. That is the Hoosiers Cream team. So Indiana, one of Indiana's many Rocket League teams. 4-1 right there was rather close in the overall match line. Really, really close. All one-score differences throughout all of those games. That is Critter, that is Unquist, and that is Juicy Watermelon. Having fun with the name.
Yeah, that's a long one too. You think I'm hoping Juicy Watermelon is gonna put out some incredible decal and design work, because Rocket League developers for some reason have a sense of taste for the watermelon. There's a ton of watermelon decals, wheels, everything. So maybe we'll see some high fashion in the game, but I'm sure these players are more concerned about their gameplay than their fashion. So I'll keep an eye out for their gameplay, as well as Northwestern looking to equal the odds here, Tug. If they take a win, we'll have even records at 2-1, and that kind of thing's pretty important for the division play.
This is very true. Very true. Division 4 is what we're talking about here. As far as watermelon, it's just a fun fruit. Let's be honest, right? It looks fun, tastes good. What can you really argue with it? Also, it seems that I may have been a little bit premature. Pyro J and I had a little moment of silence earlier. Let's do it again so we can involve the players a little bit more before we actually go forth and take the virtual Rocket League pitch. Once again, Dylan Martinez passing away yesterday. We just want to take a moment to kind of honor him. And again, hearts going out to the family, to Dylan Martinez. Again, quick moment of silence here for Dylan Martinez. Big shout out to Indiana Wesleyan, the players that might be hurting in this time. I know those emotions can be raw.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen anything like this in the game of Rocket League. So kudos to everybody involved as well, in a true sign of sportsmanship and empathy for players that are going through a difficult time right now. It's not easy to lose someone, especially at this age, and someone as active as Dylan was in their soccer team and their Rocket League community. So thank you everybody for participating in that moment of silence. And I'm sure in the true sportsmanship and abilities of Dylan, we're gonna get our best athleticism out there on the field to sport that sign of sportsmanship tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. A full 7-game series in honor, right? Let's see how it goes. Right? Delving a little bit more into the kind of exactly what it is that these two teams need. We're looking at Indiana Wesleyan squad that wants to go 3-0. Let's just be honest about that, right, Pyro? Other side, Northwestern. Now is not the time to go sub 500.
It's certainly not. I mean, you want to get off on the right foot with this minute already actually transpired throughout the match. Minute and a half we're in already. And I was reading a little bit in the chat, especially for Indiana Wesleyan, is that if you don't know the name of dribbles, you're going to know. So it's exciting to see them start off this match, this coverage at least, with that air dribble down the field. Clearly coming in with the skill set equipped for their third win.
Yeah, so just a little bit of back and forth thus far. Teams kind of trying to feel each other out a little bit. There's an attempt in a full rotation here, and this should be Northwestern. Just going to be trying to fight off this offensive onslaught for a few minutes. Oops, that's Indiana, excuse me.
Now slowly sort this out as the shot already finding its way towards the net there from Northwestern College Varsity. They're ripping shots left and right, almost finding it there. And I like this midfield possession play from Northwestern College Varsity. You've always got a third player ready to file in, rotate around, beat the ball at the half-court line. But for Indiana Wesleyan, they've been able to rip through, get the demolition as well, and start to carve their lanes to score.
Speaking of carving lanes, that was almost a great one cut against Northwestern Indiana. Seems like they might be whipping up something here. This should be a more methodical block and stop. Pick up big boost on the way. This is Ferry X. That's a solid hit and an inside shot to the right, right outside. No, that was dribbles there, excuse me, here for Indiana Wesleyan. They're going to be striking first.
All right. If you could have expected any kind of first goal out of Indiana Wesleyan, it was going to be the guy that was hyped up dribbles, kicking off that coast-to-coast dribble into the flick. Massive play to put Indiana Wesleyan in the lead, but knocking at the door is Northwestern College Varsity. Already possession here on the start of this kickoff as they'll keep it in play. Juicy Watermelon up high, attempted shot right under the ball. Indiana Wesleyan gets out.
Yeah, there's not going to be many giveaway kind of opportunities like that one. About 100 seconds left in this one. One score difference is completely undoable. Well, two is a little bit different. Should have sped that one up a little bit, Pyro.
There it is, falling in. Indiana Wesleyan survived the gauntlet after the kickoff and then threw a chip shot of their own. 2-0 Indiana Wesleyan as they continue on their success.
2-0, a little bit of a cushion as of right now as Unquist sends this off to the right corner. It'll be an easy play for dribbles, but not really much of a cleanup after that. Juicy Watermelon has not a shot, just a little bit back and forth. So kind of just fighting over possession as of right now. Unquist, wise decision. Kind of looked like they might have had an opportunity at that one, and the double tap not going to hit right there. Twist. It gets a solid opportunity, but I think just might have been going a little bit too fast.
Yeah, those double taps can be tough to coordinate, but for dribbles, an air dribble might just feel too easy. That one gets countered by Northwestern College Varsity, a team whose defense seems a bit more suitable to the attack of Indiana Wesleyan the more we get into this game. But despite that defensive fortification, something's needed on the attack end. It's a backwards attack there from Northwestern. A big sky-high shot there from center. Dribbles able to get in front of it, and even on no boost, a good 50-50. But you got to imagine a shot's needed now. Off of the corner from Unquist. Just rips off the post.
I saw how it was unfolding, and trust me, it was beautiful. Didn't quite get there once again. Just velocity of ball just a little bit too high to really get perfect angles on that. But I love the attempt regardless. 18 seconds to go right here. It'll have to be a pair of goals to come into this one and tie this up, and that sand in the hourglass is quickly dissipating away.
Yeah, last few seconds will trail down Indiana Wesleyan. A clean sheet to start out today's match. The ball hits the ground. That's going to be game one to IWU.
Yeah, it was a 2-0 sweep, right? A shutout here and early, but not a huge difference when we're talking about these shots attempted here, Pyro J. Like one save, two saves on the other side. You know, plenty of shots attempted, just none that ultimately went in here for Northwestern. And plus, it's a longer series, right?
It is. You have more than enough time to get your feet set, which is something I appreciated about Northwestern in this matchup, right? They do concede 2 early goals, but after that, pretty much stabilize. And I like the impromptu fashion of the attack as well from Northwestern, because you had that sort of off-center shot that actually found a teammate that was rotating back into the play. That shot that came right off the post in that final minute. So Northwestern, you may not have a point on the board yet, but you've clearly got the factors in the equation to equal that goal that I'm almost sure we'll see in game 2.
Oh yes, oh yes. Mentos and Coke. Mix that one up again. I want to see what comes out on the other side, because it was honestly beautiful. It would have been the flashiest goal that we definitely of just of one game, but it would have been like immediate contender for flashiest goal, I think, of the broadcast thus far. Right? Plenty of more Rocket League to be played, and plenty of talent within the Division 3 and Division 4 levels here. But really, just that ping pong shot and the quick, like you saw it unfolding, and you kind of like you wanted it to happen because of how complicated the shot simply was. Right? Maybe a natural desire to pull for underdogs, as well as this Northwestern squad was trying to get at least one back against Indiana Wesleyan. We'll see how this one goes here in game number 2.
Game 2. Get it moving. Get it twisting. Twisting with the big hat on. At the moment, I was asking for a little design choice out of Juicy Watermelon, but I guess the toppers are coming through. From Twist on the Indiana Wesleyan side, and wow, shooting in style, demolition on the line, the shot off the mark. This one, hold on, trailing back to the corner. Opportunity for Northwestern College varsity there for a moment, but couldn't necessarily convert it into a goal. And Unquist, that is an unfortunate route that ball is going to take. Attempted goalie demolition. He's going to run shy. This is Fairy X waiting for a pass. But yeah, very, very, very soft touch here from Fairy X to follow. Just trying to play more so for possession rather than push anything too much. As the save finally comes out for IWU.
Yeah, just a little conflict across the middle right here. Each team trying to just cross the no man's land and come out with something on top. That is tapped just a little bit too high, so Dribbles doesn't get that second opportunity at it. Another opportunity here for Fairy X, so Indiana Wesleyan, not for lack of trying here early game 2.
Well, still more attempts, still more opportunities to try, and maybe it's through a bump instead of a shot. That one good from Dribbles, just to ask honestly of the defense of Northwestern. Dribbles with the shadow defense, able to get one touch on it, maybe a follow for the second, has their eyes on that mid boost as well, and Dribbles able to flick past another. That's something that Northwestern College varsity have to get in front of, because you let Dribbles dribble, and you know something venomous is coming after.
You got to imagine. Here's an attempted pass play, meeting it right up the middle. A fantastic block there from that Indiana Wesleyan player. And a takeaway. Dribbles, Critter trying to follow this one up from the corner here. And a great job just kind of double tapping this one against the wall, but almost ends up just giving over possession to a different Northwestern College varsity player.
It's all right, because if you can keep the possession, you can keep the chances coming. You can keep Indiana Wesleyan moving around for that boost, resource that as the possession drags on, they'll start to run out of. Nice high shot there, a lob that actually is easily handed there by Dribbles. Is gonna skate off to the opposite side. It's a nice attempt out of Indiana Wesleyan. Trying to chip this back towards the net, but everyone playing rather passively here. Always someone in the net on the defense for either side. Keeping our shutout active, but this one's a high flyer to the top corner. Unfortunately for Indiana Wesleyan, it's just outside.
Yeah, just speed accuracy, right? Indiana Wesleyan, they definitely have the speed. Just getting that last like 1% of accuracy, and this game might already be looking like the end of game number 1. Still tied up 0-0, plenty of opportunity for both sides. Tries for the ground pinch, can't quite get it. Twist was looking to make a flashy one right there. Top 10 something. That's just going to come a little while later. Fantastic stuff. Twist, after just a barrage of offensive shots right here, finally going to be able to find it with a little bit of assistance from their friends. Fairy X on the assist.
Look good, feel good. That's what I always say. You got the topper on, you got the style on, and you got the shots on. Indiana Wesleyan, courtesy of Twist, gonna score that first one and will be the recipient of the kickoff faceoff. This one passed down to Dribbles, and a shot finds the other side. Crater in search of a teammate. I still can't tell. Is this Carter? Crater? Something.
I was saying Critter, because, like, the R is
Critter
first.
even.
Because,
I like
like,
that.
you know, I feel like I's are frequently included within, like, gamer names, and it's the E's that are usually excluded, right?
Okay.
I
I
don't
like
know.
it. Critter it
I don't
is.
know.
We'll see if they
Trying
can
to
slither
break it
on
down
for a
here.
shot, for a goal. Ferry X, pass off the backboard. And Ferry X is there again, dribbling in to the inside. They're causing problems for Critter, but even on 0 boost can still find a save, and another block made by Northwestern.
Yeah, another fantastic defensive performance right here. Honestly, it's not the defense that's really been lacking across now almost 2 games now. It's really just been the offensive opportunities here in game number 2. Because even the opportunities were there, but making it pay. And again, like a solid takeaway this time from Unquist, but just can't quite get the angle on it, man. Carter, confirmed. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Yep. It is indeed Carter, and Carter's going to need more than just a save here. 20 seconds and a 1-goal difference here. On the ball nicely, but that one gets right past the defense and more. Indiana Wesleyan playing time at the moment. Just watching it tick down with every touch. Boost steal is there, but dribbles available for the save, the clear, the punch downfield. Can Watermelon follow this one? No, it's just out of reach. Indiana Wesleyan win off just a single goal.
Just that's all that's necessary here. I could have told you there had been a low-scoring affairs through here. What I could not have told you is that we'll be looking at 6 shots attempted here for Indiana Wesleyan, only 1 on the other side. Honestly, I mean, you look across this scoreboard here for Northwestern, and it's Unquist that only got anything here. Everything else score-wise is just going to be, from first touches and clears, hits on ball and other stuff like that there for Carter. Excuse me about the Critter thing earlier. And Juicy Watermelon.
I think the greatest struggle right now for Northwestern is that shot tally. You never want to come away with just 1 on the board, especially, I mean, even if it's 3 shots, even if it's just 1 per player, at least you're getting something of an opportunity on offense. If you're playing defense, it's not only demotivating, but it's actually exhausting when you just can't have possession play, when you can't get opportunities on the net, when you're scavenging for boost and playing defense after defense after defense, it becomes too much. So for Northwestern moving on in this series, we're just looking for equilibrium right now. We're looking for opportunities to get some possession play, steal some boost. I saw some nice goal line rotations towards the end of the game from Northwestern to try to get those bumps and demos rolling. And then secondly, talk about you need to cut out the X factor. Dribbles. 4 of the team's 6 shots on that game. He's clearly getting fired up in this series.
Yeah, and when there's such a one-sided share of those, like it's what we were talking about, like, shared shots, at least everybody having one kind of getting involved right there, but dribbles really is going to be the main the main gear that makes this machine turn, right? Dribbles getting involved in the defensive side of the ball right now. Kind of a wonky touch from the teammate, but at least sends it down mid and forces a Northwestern player to play this, burn their boost along the way. Unquist isn't going to have very much coming into this. None needed as Juicy Watermelon takes a fantastic pass from the backboard.
There it is. Wonderful aerial touch there, and taking advantage of the speed. You may think that's a mistake from Indiana Wesleyan. They didn't hit the ball, but that's a forced error. Northwestern are amping up the pace of the game to force those mistakes from IWU and take advantage of the open shot.
40 seconds into this one. It's exactly what Doctor ordered here for Northwestern College. His varsity squad, just looking at some of their past games, I mean, there wasn't a series in which they got shut out. If there's anything talking shutout-wise, it's usually the other way for them getting closer to doing it, these shutouts here. So I'm not surprised they take a lead early. It's so frequently indicative, as I say that, like that it's indicative of future success. Well, after 60 seconds, we're back to a tied situation after Dribbles just doing Dribbles things.
Yeah, that was a beauty. Most players are going to think, I have the ball, take it to the net. Dribbles, though, says, actually, I've spied a scenic route to take as they dribble across the goal line and cut in at the end around 2 defenders. I talked about it. He's the X factor. That's the one for Northwestern you have to defuse.
Always. And Ferry X, a solid chance, but it looks like Northwestern just kind of waited to capitalize upon this shot right here. So a lead for Northwestern slowly goes away over the next, 60 seconds or so, because they did score rather early, Pyro.
Yeah, shots keep coming, goals keep coming at this point. Fairy X, I thought the double tap was coming through on that play, but giving it up to a teammate such as Dribbles isn't going to be a problem either. Dribbles on the air dribble, under one, over the next, but the save comes through for Carter. That was one they needed.
Playing wall ball with themselves for a second, but that's going to be enough to finally get it to the middle of the field and have Juicy Watermelon follow this one up. Unquist now tries to get it to a teammate across the middle, but Indiana actually has a fantastic kind of pincher play right there. Once they realize that this ball is kind of getting lofted out, they have plenty of time to kind of collapse in, send one down the field to get an offensive possession. The other two just literally come in from either side.
Ooh, well,
dangerous.
It feels like bumps are coming in from every end right now because Northwestern, they can't stay on four wheels at this point. That's why I talked about the goal line rotations. You can get those bumps. You can get those collisions. That will open up a lane. This time, though, Indiana Wesleyan off those physical plays could not convert the shot. Nice challenge nonetheless. From Fairy X, dribbles bumped out of the way. That's exactly what you need for Northwestern out of Unquist. Bring the fury right back to him.
Yeah, and I really like that play, opting not to shoot in initially, knowing that this shot was going to come just a couple of seconds later. Halftime now as we take to the skies. Gets over one. Northwestern does. Unquist has no more boost as Twist picks up the corner. They'll have plenty to go forth and make a play on this one. Runs into the teammate, and this ball is completely behind the defense. Fairy X just had to jump and twist and turn just to get like a horizontal hit on this one.
Oh, there's got to be somewhere there for Northwestern. They just let that free ball loose, and Fairy X has picked it up off the backboard. Carter gets a needed touch, but they're still not out of the woods quite yet. Dribbles a huge collision there. Big bumping plays on the attack from Indiana Wesleyan, but a bigger one generating for Northwestern. Another shot attacked right under the crossbar as Carter equalizes.
That's what we talk about, a well-rounded player. 3 shots and a save, assist, and now a goal. Pyro. Fantastic job just kind of stretching this right over the top of Fairy X. They get nothing more than a front row seat to the tying factor here. 107 seconds before the end of game 2. 3.
No way, not off the kickoff. Ooh, okay. Save is made out of Fairy X. You got to think how important that goal was, by the way, Tugboat, right? Because you lose this out of Northwestern, you got a reverse sweep of best of 7. A rare occurrence in Rocket League. Northwestern, this minute 30 may be the most important out of the series yet.
I have to agree with you. Now, right now, of course, we're just tied, so this is for Northwestern to finally go ahead right here. I mean, it was 2-0 in game 1, got a lot slimmer to a 1-0 lead, so don't be surprised when this one gets decided by one shot over. Northwestern's defense holds strong as Twist just has no real moves at this besides to pass it to the teammate. It just gets really corrupted. The entire possession in the corner right there sent back the other way, and Fairy X gets it to the teammate. Carter there for the defensive stop and a follow-up by Northwestern.
Northwestern's defense impressing me more and more. I mean, they made a save through the smoke screen of a demolition. How difficult is that to have a sixth sense on the ball? But they've got to have it still. Fairy X goes in for the bumping play, lands on another car instead. As Dribbles goes in for the backboard bump. He's chasing them even midway up the backboard. That is a relentless pursuit for the demo. And the incoming goal as well. Fairy X takes the lead.
And it's Fairy X's turn to enjoy this stat line. 3 shots, a save, an assist, and now a goal. Interrupt me if you think you've heard this one before. 30 seconds to go here as Indiana Wesleyan takes the go-ahead goal here. It's just a factor of holding on for a little bit. I mean, they'll take another one, especially if it's gifted over Fairy X. A little bit more momentum. That ball would have a lot more juice on it.
Indiana Wesleyan, hold the line. It's all you need here to get the best start you could possibly get in this best of 7. Juicy Watermelon, that was nearly the wrong net. 10 seconds to go. Northwestern, what's it going to be? Twist puts it away and out of line for Northwestern. Fairy X pass over to the other side, and Twist calls game.
Yeah, definitely. looked like it was such an opportunity, but once Juicy Watermelon goes for this backwards pass here, it may have just been a wonky angle that they weren't really anticipating, but that kind of sealed the deal, right? It's just so difficult to get this ball carried all the way from the other side when you have that kind of, you have 3 players playing against you, of course, but also kind of that volleyball type situation. Don't let the ball hit the ground. Florida's lava, whatever you want to call it. 4-2 here in game number 3 as Northwestern are going to be trying to stave off a sweep here. Even getting a few games back would be fantastic, but yeah, they're staring down the barrel of a reverse sweep if they want to take down this series.
History doesn't look too kindly on Northwestern making a reverse sweep happen, just because for Indiana Wesleyan, it tends to be either a sweep or a game 7, like a very close series. And with this kind of momentum of Indiana Wesleyan, that seems improbable. However, game 3, absolutely our closest affair by far. You can think back to game number 2 where 1 shot was registered out of Northwestern. There were way more than 1 shots that game, Tugboat. So more opportunities to keep this game as close as it's been.
Yeah, and like it's like that classic saying, like the difference between 0 and 1 is infinite, right? When you're talking about a difference of like 5 to 1, okay, that's a whole lot. If you take that 4 shot difference, and you expand it to like 8 to 12 or something like that, this matters a whole lot less, right? When you have like a game like that 5-man Rocket League game where there's 20 total shots and it's distributed like that I can forgive much more. Now taking this back, I believe it was a 3-score difference, like 9 to 6 or 8 to 5, something like this. This does not worry me anywhere as near as much. Northwestern is still in this one.
Let's get to it. Game number 4. Indiana Wesleyan, what's it going to be this time? It's been shutout victories. It's been 1-point games, but the last one, you let up a couple. You gave Northwestern a chance. Is it going to be a dominant win or not? Dribbles might just say, yes, it will. Double tap is just off the mark. Nearly had it.
Just barely. And it kind of seems like Indiana Wesleyan loves to take these on in early and really allow their offensive players opportunity to go forth and spread their wings and fly. Ferry X on the offensive attempt. Goes back the other way for just a couple of seconds. They need to collapse upon this. This is also a field in which I feel Northwestern might be lacking, to be honest. Lockdown bottom, a little bit more assistance on the double, and this ball's coming back the other way.
Okay, I like that save out of Watermelon. If anything's impressed me the most, it has been the defense shaping up for Northwestern College varsity. Just got to translate that into shots. A bouncer reaches the goal line that Dribbles takes care of. Dribbles a great aerial because look at those extra touches, ensuring the 50-50 on their plummet back down to the ground. So important to not give up free shots to Northwestern, but this goal looks free. If not for the save of Dribbles, that player can't be stopped on either end of the field.
Yeah, it was the second attempt to keep this ball far aloft, knowing that nobody was going to be able to get all the way up there, and quickly or have any boost to do anything with it on the backside there. So 0-0, we remain to the corner as Dribbles once again, man. On the defensive side, that's a great nose ball, but just not fast enough to go forth and make something from it.
Carter, the flip there, off the wall. He'll find the outside edge. Chance there for Northwestern to keep it near the net. Dribbles falls on the ground with it. And I like these quick challenges onto Dribbles. You do not want to see that ball on top of the hood of his car. Cover here. Not a Carter. Full boost taken. Pre-jump, though, from Indiana Wesleyan. They'll be able to just get past them. Carter pass 2. One defensive player to beat. But Dribbles will put it safely to the corner.
Yeah, if Carter has a little bit more control over this, it's another tap after this ball comes off from the ground here. Maybe a different story and a more opportunity to kind of, break some ankles, break some axles, however you want to say it. But fact remains, it's halftime, no scores on board. I have to say this looks better for Northwestern because at this point they'd given up 1 or even 2 goals, and that's just a horrible deficit to try and fight back from with only half a game with which to do it. Opportunity perhaps, but the rotations for Indiana Wesleyan hold strong. Twist, comes up, gets the block, and has boost afterwards to continue the trajectory of this ball.
Nice attempted look there for Ferry X, and it's going to give them the follow. That name has been on the front of the screen many a times. Going to be there again. Dribbles for the goal of Indiana Wesleyan.
And this goal only comes off the back of really quick rotations, and the only reason they were able to bring this out after the clear is because they had that brick wall defense. Couple of fakes. Everybody's fake across the middle of this one, Pyro.
Hey, listen, you gotta have your head on a swivel out here, okay? Everyone's gonna try and throw out the cheekier, coy maneuvers on the field just to get past them a little more easily. Twist didn't think this shot would go in as easily. It gets right past the defense.
Yeah, when Northwestern is set up and has at least half-tank boost on a couple of players, they seem like that brick wall, but in transition, Indiana Wesleyan has drawn blood. I mean, it seems like half of these goals so far. Yes, we've had kickoff goals as well. You know, and that is a situation where Northwestern players maybe stretch across the field, but really just the transition goals when one or even two players just stretching, you know, just clawing to try and get back into position, much less even like an appropriate angle. Just brutal. Fairy X looks maybe to be doing this again, but Carter reads it out off the backboard.
Still follow-up chances out of Indiana Wesleyan. You got to think one more goal would do it for this best of 7, and Fairy X nearly gets past. Twist taking their time with this attempt. Carter to get out in front, and the more time this ball spends its loitering on the orange end, the tougher it's going to be for Northwestern to claw their way back. Lundquist falls on it, but again, that third man of Indiana Wesleyan falls right into position to keep it on this side.
Yeah, now it'll be more offense here for Indiana Wesleyan, but that's more so to burn clock. Taking 3 would be fantastic. They don't really need that much more of a cushion. Dribbles last player back, Northwestern players. 2 of them kind of beat down the sides to try and get into position early, kind of cheat up just a little bit, but now just a couple of missed touches right here to just try and move this ball into the other side of the pitch, man.
Trying their best, but Indiana Wesleyan has been this formidable foe that refuses to move aside. Conceded very few goals, in which game 3, the 2 that they conceded, was more of an anomaly. This will be their second shutout victory if the score remains the same. 2-0 with zeros on the board. On the timer, the ball stays alive. We'll see if we see a final goal. No, it's on the ground. Your winner by a sweep is Indiana Wesleyan University.
Would have loved to see that donut turn into a breadstick up top, right? At Northwestern, at least take one for the road, but no. This will be a 4-0, and outside of that game 3, man, like I realized that game 2 was a 1-score differential as well, right? Was a 1-0 here, but after a sweep in the previous, especially by multiple goals, it feels much more like a one-sided affair. Game 3, you take it to a little bit higher scoring, 6 total, 4-2 victory here for Indiana Wesleyan. And the first half of this game number 4 really seemed like Northwestern had plenty of opportunity to start, like at least start that reverse sweep, right? At least get a game back here, but all for naught second half. Indiana Wesleyan just plays shut down ball, honestly.
Yeah, congrats, Indiana Wesleyan. You know, we started this match with incredible sportsmanship, and we ended it the same. Just 2 great competitive teams taking out on the field, and Indiana Wesleyan being the dominant one on top, keeping that win streak alive. We'll keep an eye on you guys at IWU to see if you can keep those wins going, if we can see a bright future for you guys. But speaking of seeing, I got a quick comment to make here on the stream as well. Gamers, I'm talking to you. Your eyes take a beating out there, but Buy Blue Light has you covered. Their premium blue light glasses keep you sharp, focused, and ready for victory without the eye strain. Level up your game and protect your vision. Check out Buy Blue Light today, official eye care partner at the NECC.
Yes, and just to be clear, that is by BYE Blue Light, right? I had that.
That's right.
I believe yeah. Okay. Cool. Right. Phonetically, it could sound like all kinds of different by blue lights, right? So, fantastic stuff. Pyro, I believe. Yeah, we'll have. We'll call it 12 minutes or so in between right now, this very second, and Missouri State. Yes. A 2-1 Missouri State squad taking on Iowa Wesleyan, Western, excuse me. Iowa Western, a little bit of a different story here, but Division 3 matchup coming up in just a little bit. Pyro, Jay, FBI Tugboat, we'll be back with you guys, and we'll call it 10 now.
I've only stumbled over diamonds, and I no longer fear the worst.
Hello and welcome back. 12 minutes. 12 minutes. That was my time estimation. I think I was right on the money with that one, Pyro. NECC, we are back. We are live. Match 2 of 3 here on the night, ready to debut.
Yeah, ready to keep it going. We got our second match underway, our only Division 3 matchup. Missouri State Bears up against the Iowa Western Reavers. Today I learned a Reaver is a river pirate. They were officially called the Reavers back in the 80s, I think, when they first were coming up into higher education there at Iowa Western. So the Reavers taking on the Bears today. And two solid teams doing well this season. Both have a loss, but Missouri State has Iowa Western on the wins, 2-1, rather than their 1-1 record. Tug, so we got a sweep on the last match. I'm hoping for a little bit of a closer duel this time.
Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. That's part of the reason why we extended these from best of 5 series to best of 7 series for all NECC matchups. I believe last year it was just Division 1, Division 2. No, I believe we go down to Division 8 here at the NECC. A whole lot of Rocket League being supported by the National Esports Collegiate. Wait, NECC, National Esports Collegiate Championship? Help me out here, Pyro. Help me. Conference, the duh. Wow, that was. Yeah, obviously that's what it is. Sorry about that. Let's talk about Missouri State at this point. Wow. 2-1, as you mentioned, started off the season with a 4-3 loss. A close one there to Kansas State. Followed that up with a win against Texas Tech, 4-2 status, and fret not because they would get revenge against the state of Kansas with a follow-up. Yes, week 3 last week, that was a 4-2 victory over Kansas. Missouri State made up of Spicy, Top QZ, and Andrew. Top QZ, Pyro, do you have any advice there?
On the name or
On the name, yes, sir.
advice for Top QZ? I'll wait until I see the gameplay. I'll give good advice from my GC1 caliber Rocket League. But on the Iowa Western side, we got Combo, Sayu, and Tip. I was doing a little rank checks before the game. We're at a little bit of GC3 level, I think, like near peaks of SSL. So pretty good. Like even if you hear Division 3 in NECC, you think, okay, we're pretty far from the top tier collegiate. No, really not. These teams are hugging those top divisions, and you should expect some very top caliber Rocket League, which is why when you ask me what I would advise these players, heck, I think they know a thing or two more about the ball game than I do, though we'll do our best to analyze them here as we get our best of 7 underway very shortly.
Yes, I was thinking it was Top QZ getting the advice there from Spicy in the chat, pronounced Topaz. Topaz. I am 0 for 2 on translating like gamer letters, right? On for
was
the
with you.
for
QZ,
the symbols.
yeah.
Right. Top QZ. Yeah. Topaz. It is. Topaz. It'll be a gym over here on the side of Missouri State as they're fighting, or going to be fighting, excuse me, for their 3rd victory here in this best of 7 ensuing in just a minute.
Yeah, very shortly. So looking forward to seeing what these guys can bring out here on the main stage. You know, normally for NECC, I know in past seasons we've kind of looked at, okay, who from Division 1, Division 2 can we get out on the field, and maybe some other divisions. Whereas this Division 3 matchup, as we're kind of spreading our net a little bit wider this season, is our top tier, most skilled matchup of the day. So we may be seeing some plays of the day, some goals of the broadcast. That's at least my hope for this matchup, but it's exciting to see the hype in the chat today. I'm glad I'm correct about the Reavers. I looked that up and I'm like, well, I've never actually seen that, but now I see it in the chat. Now I see a let's go Reavers. So forward to seeing that. And if you're on Missouri State, then I'm sure you're rooting for the Bears.
Yeah, Bears solid mascot that instills fear into the heart of the opponents.
Yeah.
Until I saw Reavers, my goodness, right? Like I see Reavers and I think Reapers, right? Like the culling creature that brings people off to the afterlife or whatever else like that, like Roman
Right,
mythology and stuff
right.
like that. That's where my mind goes to. But I'm also thinking Gears of War as well, so kind of a different game there, but still kind of like the Death, Doom, and Glorious Destruction, kind of the same theme right there. So that's where my mind went to as well.
Yeah. And as we waffle on about these teams and their mascots, it's the part of the reason is because Rocket League came with a recent update where you can't type in game chat. They took out the functionality in the game, which is normally how we start these matches. Instead, they've removed that feature because they're working on the report system. So you can't report anyone for it. So they've removed the feature. So we're going to get this match underway to you. I'm sure everyone watching would much rather see the cars on the field than our faces, but very short. No, you think they'd rather take a look at us? Yeah, maybe
I think it's a
not so much
possibility.
me.
Oh, don't sell yourself short. Wanted to say something or talk about something that's been a little bit exciting, right? Because you were kind of talking about the different divisions that were being featured on broadcast here on the night, right? D4 team, D3 team, Central A D3 team here, and we'll be looking at a D4 team coming up next. But the idea was the NECC After Dark, right? I mean, we're starting, so 5:10 here on the West Coast, right? That is 7:10, or excuse me, that's 8:10. My goodness, math hard over there on the East Coast, right? And so with our last match starting a little bit later, we were thinking like having some fun and getting other divisions involved, and that's a lot of what we saw last year, right? That a lot of these D1 teams were playing before that time. So we were having a lot of fun with like the D5 teams and a lot more bumps and demos like that than there were necessarily like high flying triple reset dunking goals, right? Still a lot of fun.
You know what? Whether it's an easy demo or a triple reset, we'll be having a good time. These players are ready to have a great time. We're well underway here, 30 seconds at the game number 1 of our only Division 3 matchup tonight here on the mainstream of NECC. Iowa Western looking for their second win of the season. Missouri State for their third, as both teams are trading their possessions.
Yeah, just a little feeling out motion until Sayu gets given the most free goal of their lives. Yeah, so this is just a little bit of a breakdown right here. Topaz goes for this hit, and then I think actually influences that so that this ball was coming much more like horizontally, right? It just kind of ends up bouncing down right in the middle, and Iowa Western will take those all day long.
Go Reavers. They're going to be looking for those double commits, sniffing them out as much as possible, steering the ship right as much as they can. That's going to be tough, though, with Sayu bumped out of the way. Physical play coming out of Andrew for Missouri State, but Topaz is giving revenge here. Demolition on the line for Iowa Western to get some collisions to work their way as well. That's a team bump while they're trying to play defense. Spicy there for the squishy save, yet it's not enough.
Not quite enough right there. Great ground pinch attempt there from Andrew to start this one off, and Topaz coming in on this one, gets a hit on the defender, but just a second too late. Minute 15 into this one, Pyro. Iowa Western up 2-0.
Yeah, it's just a couple of moments for Missouri State where they just got to sharpen the edges on the defensive side. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the idea of the in-and-out save, but some of these team bumps, some of these double commits, they've got to be fixed, and until they do, Iowa Western are going to score some more.
Yeah, I mean, so they get the demo right here. Easy takeaway from the last player. I believe that was Sayu that came up for this one. Andrew on the other side, I think, came up for that one, and it was pretty much done and dusted from that point. Topaz going to be given a great one, a great opportunity from the sidewall. This bounces out, and they just get a perfect angle off of it. Kickoff goal here, Missouri State.
It always depends on how you want to risk it on the kickoff. Do you want to cheat hard and up close if there's a neutral 50-50, or do you want to play a little more passive? The passive one over there for Missouri State, well positioned for a high flyer off that face-off to execute on the shot as well. But this kickoff goes more so the way of IWCC. Shots get end up wide, but around the defender. Allows for Combo to set up the double tap off the backboard. And rebound not in time for Tip. But Spicy puts themselves in an awkward position there with a teammate. More team bumps out of Missouri State. More areas to clean up.
That's entirely fair, right? Every single time one of this happens, you're talking about poor positioning on a player that's just been, kind of lining that up for several seconds. Just it may seem like very, very minor things, but just being out of position for even a quarter of a second, it seems lifetime within a great game of Rocket League. Giveaway back on over to Iowa Western. Tries to get the reset and get this one back towards the middle. Not quite going to happen. Missouri State tries for something against the sidewall and is easily met there. Tip just walks the dog all the way inside. Defender did get like a tire onto this one, that just wasn't enough on the ankle.
I mean, tongue out and panting are Missouri State to their own back line. You run them around their own half, and eventually that possession is going to wear them thin. A single player with full boost, and they still couldn't get back for that save.
More off kickoff wonkiness right here. This benefited Missouri State last time, but I think this is slowed down enough. And yeah, players have picked up boost off of that kickoff there in Iowa Western back on the offensive side. There's a big demo. Spicy taken out of this one. Andrew coming in, trying to finish this one off themselves. Can't quite get it there to cut the lead to 2.
This is great, though. I mean, you got that reset try, you force a save, and then you keep the possession alive with a flick and a pass. Unfortunately, Missouri State haven't executed on that finishing factor. They need one shot to go. Andrew nearly in possession for that infield pass. Missouri State trying those infield passes a lot more, and they're close to working. But so was the rebound try of Iowa Western. A 5th goal would surely put this game to bed, but Missouri State not keen to allow it. Musty flick pass from Spicy. Meets Andrew for the shot, but it's denied.
Yeah, some solid offense, some solid defense to answer back the other way. Andrew's going to be really glad that Spicy was there on the rotation back, full boost, ready to get this one blocked. Solid attempt there, Sayu. Going to interrupt this one. The defense tries to get this one down, but at that point, Iowa Western kind of abandoned that. So we may seem a little bit of a shift. Double tap attempt, not going to happen. But a shift in the offensive kind of theme or strategy here for Iowa Western. It might just be more of a burn time type situation, up 3 scores.
Could be. Clock's getting burned, but turning on the ball nonetheless are Iowa Western in order to face the aerial faceoff. Sayu does pick up a pass and is actually called off the play. Combo's the one with boost, and so they will propel the attack. Flip reset is ungathered as Andrew interrupts instead. Flings it across the field. Tip manages a save, but there's no shot taker. Spicy behind the play on another infield pass attempt gone dry for Missouri State. Save made by Andrew. This should clean up for Iowa Western. They don't need goals. They just need shots. They just need time. Taking off the clock.
Okay.
They need anything other than this.
6 total scores now, just under 20 seconds. Great job just foisting this one to the bottom right. This is kind of the opposite problem that Missouri State has been having here now for Iowa Western, just crowding too much of this side of their net on the defensive attempts here. Just a straight up too many cooks in the kitchen type situation, Pyro.
That's certainly the case, but listen, many a game to sort out your issues. Sayu, no issue there.
Okay.
Opposite side. So unnecessary, but so right for the dime up out of Sayu.
It was so unnecessary, but it felt so right. That would be Sayu's defense here. 4 seconds to go here. Padding going back to a 3-score differential. Hey, maybe Iowa Western just saying, hey, we can make minor defensive mistakes if we're putting up 5 a game. Handful of them. Crazy stuff. Volley-to-all situation, triple zeros. Game will be over once this touches the ground, and it is. Game 1 going the way of Iowa Western.
Reavers on top. Kick off today's action in the Division 3 as the 3-goal win is taken there by Iowa Western, and a fantastic job pretty much from every player. I mean, even Combo on the bottom of the scoreboard. 1 goal, 2 assists. Everyone coordinated in the action today. But towards the back half, Tugboat, it certainly felt like Missouri State were getting back into this game, right? They were a bit scoreless for a bit there, but off some fortuitous kickoffs and some late game chances, they've kind of battled their way back into the game's dynamic, it feels like.
Yeah, this felt like it could have definitely ended a two-score differential. Really, Missouri State gets a little bit more time. Felt like it could have even gone down to a one-score differential there. A little bit extra on top there from Sayu at the very, very end to make this scoreline look even more one-sided. Now, that said, I don't think Iowa Western really needs to do too much to change up their game plan here, man. They were getting crucial demos when it happened. They were getting other physical plays bumps in there when it really, really mattered, and just getting members of this Missouri State squad out of position for just that quintessential quarter of a second that we were talking about during the actual game and whatnot. On the other side, Missouri State, you mentioned it, man, crowding, way too much crowding certain parts of this pitch.
Yeah, spacing out a little bit, giving your teammates some breathing room might help for the Missouri State Bears as we get on for game number 2. All of the court accounted for on this face-off. Double quarter approach. One over momentarily by Missouri State, but Tip on top of the ball here to get things going. That might be your player to watch here, the MVP of game 1.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair to say we were looking at all other 5 members relatively close in points to the other members on their team until you looked at Tip. I think it was like 350 and like 326, something like that for the two teammates, like 550 plus there for Tip. So really, if there's one player that I want to answer demos-wise for the Bears, it's going to be against that player, Tip. Just simply eliminate him from the offensive opportunities.
Demos can help quick challenges as well, and you'll find 3 players quick challenting the ball there in the air. No one gets a piece of it as around the cubby from the corner comes Spicy. Shot right off the crossbar. You heard the light dink. And that's a sound that not a lot of players want to hear, especially if it's not bar down. A bump, though, coordinates an attack fresh from the half-court line from Iowa Western.
Ooh, dangerous angle. Andrew cleans it up on aisle 3. A fantastic job as Iowa Western takes a demo going into this one. Another great read from Andrew Sayu, kind of, I'm not going to call it saving this one, but at least granting a possession over to their teammate. That is a dangerous ball that they're going to be glad wasn't a couple of inches to the inside.
Whew. And another one saved there by Iowa Western. They're finding save after save, but how many really can you find? You may not need more with Tip behind the ball. Flip reset. No dodge after. Thought we'd see the venomous strike. Instead, combo safeguarding the ball. Doesn't pick up boost, but holds the ball nonetheless. Andrew Ovio, what do we got towards the half-court line? Brings it to the paint. Finds Spicy on the opposite side. Combo keeping things cool, though. And that's important to have as a defender. Someone who can get the right 50-50. Somebody who can get the right challenge. Combo getting in front of that shot as well.
Spicy just whipping around on that one like a viper. Tip has got to come up to it and does. Throw an epic on top of that save. Andrew trying to feed it to the teammate. Spicy, I think, was trying to just rotate it back towards the middle of this pitch. It's no real shot indeed, as Missouri is just left kind of floundering for the ball, and Andrew with their last player back. So demo there. Now it's just one player back. Spicy going to make the most of it, though.
Ooh, Andrew, we're looking for the redirect there. Combo final defender. Tip just barely entering his reinforcements, but the defense looking a little scattered here for Iowa Western after that demolition. That being said, it was a quick turnaround to the other side. Tip wants to take this towards the net, and oh, is it a bump nearly? Attempting that last second shot was Iowa Western, trying to remove the defenders from making the save, but instead, still 0-0. With 2 minutes left in this game, Sayu goes for the 50-50, setting up combo, putting it down, and the save barely made. That one a bit closer than I thought it would become.
Man, it was tipped down bottom as well, ready to get just absolutely fed right in the middle of this play. Just couldn't quite get the ball to them and lower. I mean, getting that through a couple of Missouri State Bears is way easier said than done, Pyro. Less than 100 seconds right now as Iowa Western gets back on the offensive side. This will come off a backboard. How do they play it? A weak tip to the right side, but it's the follow-up that's way more impactful. Spicy brought that one out and hit it off to the corner. Combo trying to continue the momentum. Andrew, once again, has just read this like a couple of minutes into the future, it seems, Pyro.
That's what's needed save every shot, block it all away. Both teams with 4 shots registered. This has been an even affair for the first 4 minutes, but that may not matter depending on how this final minute goes. Oh, the gloves are off. Tip, another reset. Threatening that extra dodge at all times, but often not utilizing it. Keeping a little bit of fear in the eyes of the Missouri State Bears. Sayu goes for the 50 to find the net. Andrew able to help out with the save. If this one continues at the same tempo, Doug, we may just see overtime.
Yeah, 30 seconds away from it as of right now. Iowa Western, they've had plenty of opportunities here, but that previous one from Tip, and like you said, ooh, Andrew, see, that again, just the benefactor of fantastic positioning. Just great preparation precipitates success generally. But Missouri State has just, honestly, just spent a little bit too much time with this ball on their side of the pitch. Now just another frantic attempt to try and get this one out. Sayu says no go. Takes it to the skies after a side boost picked up. Reset comes in, not going to be able to get it past the defender or last bounce territory.
Oh my gosh, wait. One low, one high on the defense. This one could find the net though. Second try. Sayu! Say that it's game. The 0-second goal for Iowa Western.
Sayu, wow, the buzzer beater last second. Iowa Western doesn't like the sound of overtime. Fantastic stuff. 1-0 here at 0 seconds. It doesn't get closer than that, my friend.
I kept seeing that ball chip up high, and I'm like, hold the phone. We got something cooking here. And when you see players at 0 seconds, not just take a sharp shot towards the net, but instead play the ball high off the backboard, right? They're not thinking about that one-step action. They're thinking of many steps in the future. A lot of the times at the end of regulation, when the ball's kept up, teams will not have boost left. They'll play for that last dodge, that last play on the ball to try to kill it. But afterwards, if you can keep the ball high and your team has boost, you can generate those chances. That's why Rocket League is one of the best esports, because we get those 0-second moments that can be so promising. Iowa Western playing that well to get the only goal of that game at the very last second.
Yeah, it's such a perfect setup, the way that it goes, right? Like, clock might say 0, but until that ball hits the ground, until it's a dead ball, right, you have the opportunity to overcome one. It just the skill with which it takes to get there is turned up by 10, knob ripped off. Fantastic stuff here. A super, super close game, just leagues better than our game number 1 right there, and Iowa Western takes it down in the very last second. Now I want to talk about the other side, and Andrew. 5 saves, that's more than every other member of this lobby combined. His team and the other team, right? Doing everything they need, they absolutely can on the defensive side of the ball for 5 full minutes of Rocket League until we're a couple of seconds past that 5-minute mark, right?
Yeah, listen, for both teams, take a deep breath, because you talk about the defense, you need to compose yourself, right? The thing about goals being scored in the game is it at least gives you a 5-second break. Right, when the replay shows, you get a second, wipe the hands off, right? In Rocket League, though, there is no time to stop. It's full pedal to the metal at all times just to keep up with this pace. So for Missouri State Bears, off of a very defeating loss, you just got to breathe, compose yourself, and go again.
Yeah. This also isn't panic territory quite yet. Yes, that's a feels bad. 0-second goal. No scores otherwise on the entire boards, and you lose with an opportunity to go to overtime. At least purchase yourself a little bit more fighting power, right? Got to feel bad, but at the end of the day, again, best of 7 series. Nobody is getting eliminated from this series based on the result of this next game. And as far as we've seen so far, I mean, this was a one-sided affair in Game 1. That was an incredibly close one in game number 2. And now this one, there's not really been any serious, honest offensive opportunities yet, even if there might be a couple of shots counted, like, technically by the game.
Yeah, that's probably another one, right, where Tip has earned the Savior medal off of a save that's more or less expected. Missouri State keeping the defense honest out of Iowa Western, and certainly getting the collisions up too. In those final 30 seconds of the last game, there were probably 4 or 5 demolitions, and we've seen the collisions as well in game number 3 now. So I'm trying to see how the physical play might favor one team over the other. there's also been plenty of team bumps from Missouri State. So if you're going to bump somebody, be it the other team. Now, in this case, this one right in front of the net, and Andrew right above the ball. That one was just a kisser away from their first goal.
Maybe that's why a lot of bears are solitary hunting animals, right? My goodness, you move as a pack like that, both players trying to do the same exact thing. Brutal stuff, especially given that Iowa Western defender bit onto the initial move by these two players, like before either of them had completely committed at all. Couple of demos here as we move on past that one. Opportunity squandered here as we're 5 seconds outside of halftime.
Ooh, that's got to be it.
Nice.
That's it right there. Demolition on the line. Sayu behind the ball. He's going to find it all the way home. And take a look at that trajectory from Tip. The demo off the flip reset for the assist.
Yeah, coaches Sir Wilhelm and ex-Kilk there for Iowa Western. Going to be real happy about that one. And if I somehow mispronounce that, once again, sorry, folks. That's what's written down on the sheet. This one score feels like it's going to be very impactful, right? I'm not saying that Missouri State needs to score 9 at this point to feel good about this one, but just the pace of play the past really 9 minutes of Rocket League just feels like it's just so darn even that this feels destined to end at another one-score difference.
Ooh, I think for Missouri State, again, you're just exhausted having not found that one goal, especially when it was right on the crossbar just to be taken. It really speaks to how Rocket League is played. You can do everything to generate the opportunity, but when it comes in front of you, you got to execute. You have to be able to have that finishing factor on your team and that ability to score the ball. Maybe another opportunity can be generated from Missouri State, though, as they have possession. Ball set up for Andrew Topaz, rocking around the ball at the moment, but it's turned away from them again.
Topaz burns it all just to try and get the... That's the other thing. I feel like we're getting some, some solid Missouri State hits, but it's the follow-up, and it's like, okay, you put this off to the corner, it maybe force a 50 on the backside right here, but this is not definitive possession for your team. Another hit. Sayu strikes twice in game number 3. Of course, Sayu is the progenitor of the last 3 scores here over the past 9 minutes of Rocket League. The very last second goal for Iowa Western in game number 2, and now both of these in game number 3.
I think it's almost expected. I'm sure the Iowa Western players know. I'm sure a lot of bubble participants in the Rocket League scene know. Just say one of the more recognizable members on the field right now. It's the kind of player you really want to give the rock to. If anybody's going to find the back of the net, do it with power and precision. That being said, Tip nearly had a redirect chance to put a third on the board for Iowa Western, but hey, with 40 seconds left and 0 on the side of Missouri State, 2 might just be enough.
Yeah, I mean, it was plenty last time. Last second as they may have come. Combo. Playing mind games as of right now. Because you got to realize, folks, every mind game played right there is a tick or 2 off of this clock. This would mean a lot more if it was only a 1-score difference, but as we all know, that 2-score differential, always the most dangerous lead within the game of Rocket League. You don't want to rest on your laurels by any means. But we're pretty much getting that situation. Single-digit seconds is really not feasible to bring this one back from the brink with 2.
And in the last couple of seconds, the game will wrap up there. It's 3 wins out of your Iowa Western squad. Great work for the River Pirates. They're finding their way flawlessly nearly through this matchup. I mean, what does it say for Missouri State? It feels like just that one goal could be the separation of you having a factor in this match or not.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. Also, always got to point it out when it happens. 4 shots, 2 goals, 50% shot efficiency there. Hitting their mark. 8 shots, other side distributed about as evenly as you can here from Missouri State. Still not finding pay dirt on this one. We've gone a couple of games here with a couple of shutouts for this Missouri State Bears as they've cleaned up their problems from game 1, and now it's just gotten a lot more basic when it comes to scoring, honestly. Like, setting up teammates for shots and communication there. I mean, we did see a fantastic opportunity there for Missouri State early in that game, number 3. That was squandered by 2 players going and just trying to occupy the same space.
It's good to see an opportunity generated for sure, but
True.
when I really look back at the holistic thing about that match was I don't think Iowa Western were ever made to feel uncomfortable during that game. This is a team that feels very comfortable at this pace of play right now. Anytime Sayu gets that open shot, sinks it to the back of the net. I really think Missouri State Bears, the win condition here is making Iowa Western uncomfortable. And if you can't do that by increasing the pace of play and staying on this defensive end, do it with the collisions. Let's see those bumps and demos come through again. Let's see the quick challenges. Take a gamble, take a risk on some of these attempts for possession and see what you can do with it. It's just there, even from Andrew, the attempt on the redirect, just to turn their undercarriage up. I like that chance, just to see if you can put something fresh into the game.
Tipper with a bouncing ball here, 32 seconds into this one. Iowa Western takes the lead for the first time for the 4th game in a row, I believe. I believe they scored first in game number 1. They obviously scored first in games 2 and 3, even though it came at 5 minutes in that second game. Player I want to talk about, Andrew. Andrew, right? We were singing their praises of the defensive efforts, and they've really done a great job of getting involved on the other side of this pitch and generating those opportunities. Opportunities generated, although not turned, not spun from that straw into gold. Pyro J. Different story. Andrew heard his name and his ears started burning. 1-1 Missouri State.
This was nicely done. I mean, really doesn't have any help from their teammates and apparently didn't need them. Just needed Tip to barrel into Sayu. Again, team bumps doing more of the work this matchup to clear lanes than opponent bumps, which is something rare to see, but just got to take advantage of the mayhem, the chaos brought about by Tip.
Yeah, 53 seconds. We got 3 scores already. This is just off the back of some kickoff mistakes, right? Missouri State sends 2. They really don't have a player in a position to both defend goal and make a play on the ball at the same time. Split decision. Iowa Western player gets, gets in front of that, and an open net from the other side. What am I talking about? Missouri State can get it done any which way.
I mean, this is just relieving if you're the Bears because you work so hard for your first goal in 3 games, and it's washed away off a kickoff goal. Bring it right back. Make Iowa Western feel how you felt. Deliver that medicine. And there it is. You got your tie game, and you've got Missouri State Bears back with hope.
Yeah, there's a great job trying to find a solid angle there. Most recent Iowa Western, Topaz takes this to the corner, feeds it to the teammate. Andrew puts this one up and over, and Iowa Western early reads that one as a bad angle. No one able to get to it. Now it's a fight towards the middle of this pitch. Sayu from on high, down low though, and Andrew is not too slow.
Tip though, taking their time on this backboard aerial setup for combo, and
Hold up.
the phone is this the tip of Tip able to get that last little touch.
Look at that angle. I don't think the ball actually hits the ground. 124 kilometers an hour is pretty darn close to 100 miles an hour, I believe. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff, like 90, something like that. Just for a little context for any USA folks.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous shot from Tip, and I don't think they even expected the pass down, but once it came around, they're able to find a lightning fast answer. Sayu kind of wreaking havoc there on the aerial side, forcing Missouri State Bears up high on the challenge. And I bet Tip is feeling invigorated right now, on fire to put on some more power towards Missouri State.
Invigorated, invincible, however you want to say it. Player's got a hat trick. That speaks for itself. 10 seconds outside of halftime. Missouri State is trying to get this ball out of their side, and that's easier said than done. If this drops, that's good. No, Andrew, excuse me. Counted you out early. Won't do it again.
He says, you heard me get 5 saves that last game. I'll do it again. And every save being counted for sure on the spreadsheet in this game. Andrew's good for 4. So might exceed That expectation here in game 4 and may need it as well. Iowa Western still looking for more attempts on the net. Spicy credited with that save. And tip there to beat Andrew on the ball.
Yeah, and if Sayu had an exclamation to put along with that shot, is that I am dangerous from any part of this pitch. This was launched. I mean launched from half pitch right there, and they still had to scramble to get down to it. Clear came a few plays later, a few hits afterwards, and a great one it was. That's why Missouri State's in the offensive side of this pitch right now. Down low, Topaz has to rotate backwards, can't really make a play onto this ball. It's off to the corner, Sayu gets under one. Topaz down low, can't really get this one out. 90 seconds to go, more boost, and Sayu puts this home.
Still think we're stuck in that position of Missouri State needing to make Iowa Western feel uncomfortable, and that may just come through some attempted shots, forcing saves. These shots are just missing the mark. Only one save has been made this game from Iowa Western, and that speaks more to Missouri State's inability to just force that defense, keep them honest from Iowa Western, and they've only got a minute to prove that they can test that defense.
Only a minute, only a goal, though, if you're looking at this from the Missouri State side. And now is the time to turn this all up. Spicy gets taken away from down bottom. It just goes a little bit too slow. They're trying to beat the defender there, but I think this kind of got behind them, behind the defender, that is. And so a play onto it might have been a little bit harder. Spicy, the rest of Missouri State not willing to give up possession, this offensive drive quite yet, even though Tip brings this from on high. Two players down low. They almost get tangled up under each other there, Pyro.
Nearly did. It's been a common theme of this series, but the series may only have 20 seconds left in it. It is the final cry from Missouri State Bears. Can they get at least a win tonight, or at least force an overtime, which they were so close to a couple games ago? It's Andrew to leave high. Sayu clears out to Topaz. Spicy hoping they can pick this up as a pass, but it's tipped off by that truly tip. Combo misses the ball. Spicy goes for the demo. It could be the 0-second play. And a taste of Iowa Western's own medicine.
Yes, it was. This was Sayu flavored here from Andrew. Andrew doing everything right. You said 4 saves a while ago. Something tells me that's higher now. Well, you got offensive prowess to add to that resume. Topaz off of kickoff here. Andrew back as Missouri State starts their offense. This could be it. Oh, combo interrupts this one. No counterspell necessary.
Wow, 3 players on the backboard there for Iowa Western. They were not ready to give up that ball in OT. They are willing to hold the line, but Tip, forcing Andrew up. No boost there. It's a free one for Sayu. The instant response is Iowa Western close the deal.
Look at that backwards hit from Tip. They get the half backflip onto it. Almost get this ball inside. Andrew probably would have had a play onto it, but what they can't do is be in 2 places at one time. Iowa Western, hey, a little bit of fireworks here in game number 4, but a sweep it will be nonetheless. 11 shots, and Combo not even getting involved with that one, as Iowa Western puts up, I mean, the second most scores they've had across any of these games, right? But hands down the closest. Hands down the closest.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Missouri State Bears deserve our recognition, right? As you said, such a close game. And for a team to be down 0-3 in the series and still fight to the bitter end, force a 0-second goal to force overtime, there's plenty of teams out there without the discipline or the character to keep up their best Rocket League until that dying breath. And forcing that OT, trying to push this series further until the very last second, was Missouri State Bears. They'll be a team that I regard with resilience and perseverance, and that was impressive to see. But your clutch team of the day and your X factor, your MVP, absolutely, Iowa Western, and then respectively Sayu, with an incredible performance today, bucketed so many shots that came their way, and closed the deal when it was needed in OT.
True, true. I thought you were going to give it up to Tip, so maybe have a split desk right here. Tip was getting a lot of these done themselves, but also set up say you specifically on that last little play right there. But this is just indicative of a fantastic squad when you have casters kind of debating it. On the other side, I'd have to give my flowers on over towards Andrew. I'm not saying, of course, that that Topaz or Spicy played poorly by any means. So don't take it like that. But the way that Andrew was playing shutdown defense earlier, and then as this series went on, incorporated even more offense from into his individual gameplay. It's like unfrequent that we're able to even ask oh, well, you're doing all this on offense. Now give me some more. Or you're doing all this on defense. Excuse me. Now give me a little bit more on offense. Now start feeding this balls. Now start getting some of your own goals. Now how about a last-second affair to bring this to overtime? Unfortunately, in overtime that they would go forth and lose. But it's about buying yourself opportunities, Pyro. And I'll take a loss in overtime over regular time loss any day of the week.
Yeah, you got to respect the end-to-end performance for sure from Andrew. That 5 saves to 4 saves made between those 2 games were really what held Missouri State Bears in that matchup. Totally agree with you. But the good news is that may have been a fiery matchup like the last one was, but it's not our final matchup, Tugboat. We still got one more as we're tracking back to Division 4 with Temple Esports and York coming up. So that's something I'm really excited to see.
Yeah. So a couple of sweeps here, folks. Wish we could have extended these series on a little bit longer. Hopefully, this last one will be extended on a little bit more. Temple Esports Cherry, that is a 1-2 squad taking on York Spartans Green. York Spartans only playing 2 matches thus far and having won both of them. Going to be a little bit more of an extended break here, given that this is the second sweep, so we got a little more time till the next top of the hour. Yada yada, FBI Tugboat, Pyro J. We'll be back with y'all in, I'll call it 14 minutes this time.
frozen over like I am. Well, I know you know that like it's colder, colder when I'm older, older than I am. And I know you know that I have lost composure, but I'll hold you closer while I can. I never told you that I'm slightly broken, that I might lose focus when I am. I know you know that life gets colder, colder when you're frozen over like I am.
Breaking up all this static running through my blood. Again, why do you waste your light on me? Out of luck, can I keep my head above this time? Again, feeling the ground collapse on me. Blown around in a storm that only brings me down. Again, why does it feel so hard to breathe? Why does it feel so hard to breathe? So hard to breathe. Never found, but these voices bring me to my knees. Again, why do you waste your light on me?
Hello and welcome back. The third head of this triple header here for the NECC continues right now. FBI Tugboat here with my man Pyro J. Pyro J, we are staring down the barrel of the Temple Owls taking on the York Spartans green.
Yes, we are. As you saw in the window right before our beautiful faces flash onto the screen. 2 sweeps today, 4-0 and 0-4. So can we see a game 5, maybe some stiffer competition here for this matchup? Maybe, but it's not how the cards are laid out in front of us. We got a 2-0 Temple Esports team, their Esports Cherry squad. So I like the YCP hype in the chat. They may need it as they're searching for their first win today. That York College of Pennsylvania coming in here, their Spartans green team. We'll see Tugboat if they can claw away that first win tonight.
Yes. I think I might be saying that backwards. Temple Esports Cherry 1 and 2, York Spartans Green 2 and 0.
Yep, I said that completely opposite. Yes,
totally good.
York,
I did it wrong earlier.
You guys are 2-0. Temple's looking for their first win. I'm keeping everybody on their toes tonight.
Yeah, I knew chat was going to come for you, so I was helping you out there, Pyro.
Thank you.
Temple Esports, that's Vroom, that's Raukinson, and that's Blink. We got a little coaching staff of Just Rillo or Just Rillo, one of the two. Big shout out to the coaching staff and the support that they bring to these Scholastic Esports teams.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 2 great teams are ready to go here. We got Soldier Bum, Duke, and Frika for York. And that Vroom, Ralkinson, and Blink there for Temple. So you got your rosters there. You got them ready to go. We got our final best of 7 of the night, Tugboat. I don't know if you're aiming and thinking, forecasting this to be a sweep as well. What's going on in that noggin of yours tonight?
So the two different ideal situations for either of these teams is Temple trying to get back to 500 even. York, the simple fact is they have not lost a match yet. Big shout out, personal connection here. NASCast, the coaching staff played as a player last year here for York. I've casted with Nas actually recently. Guy plays a whole lot of Halo and very, very good at it. So the kind of tail of the tape, as they would say, is very, very different for these two teams. Undefeated record on the line here for York. Just an opportunity to get back to 500 here for Temple.
Looking forward to seeing what we got here tonight then for, I'd say, big stakes on the line for both teams. And Blink certainly feels that way. First goal in the bag for Temple.
Drawing first blood and early. If the past can be used to predict the future here from our past 2 broadcasts and this one, well, the first goal is going to matter a whole lot. Squad that took first goal there in the previous matchup, Missouri State and Iowa Western, would go forth to win every game of those 4.
I'm looking at the scoreboard for a second. Duke's got his bronze tournament winner tag on display tonight. So showcasing the biggest and brightest accolades are every player on the field here ready to show it off.
I think if I was some of these players' level and able to do the triple flip resets and everything else like that, I would probably put on display a not so great accolade such as a bronze tournament champion from like seasons past, right? Solid shot over. It's going to be the follow-up though from Frika as this one hits the crossbar, bounces out right into the breadbasket of this York Spartans player.
York College, a PA. YCP, you're on the board here with a shot there from Frika and assisted by Duke. And that bronze tourney winner title is giving Daniel energy, recent world champion who normally wears the grand champion tag. God forbid you use a world champion tag, right? But nevertheless, that is to say, maybe some world champion activity on display here from Duke and company out of York.
Not doing too shabby so far. A precarious defense, as I say that, there for York. Coming up to it is Ralkinson. Find a whole lot. York is definitely employing some more unique strategies to get this ball out of their side of the pitch, Pyro.
I mean, sometimes you got to do that, even if it's the beginning of the game. You don't want your strategy to be telegraphed so clearly. So
okay,
you got to shake it up. And Frika's ready to do that. That is 2 for 2 on the day for Frika.
Yeah, 2 shots, 2 goals, throwing a save in there as well. Makes for a well-rounded and fantastic start for that Freaka player out of York. Assist going to teammates. I'd love to see, this is early and not quite time to talk about, what teams need to do. But we always do want to see more well-rounded offenses and more people getting involved into those offensive opportunities. Perhaps here's Duke. Big boost picked up on the way. That was actually, angle-wise, kind of assisted. More backwards pass onto the defensive player.
Yeah, there was the backwards pass, and there's still the continued possession here out of York. They're aiming for that goal, but now they're aiming for a save. Quick one brought back from Ralkinson. Soldier bomb across the alleyway as Ralkinson again off the wall here. Duke. One touch. Vroom on the opposite end of the field, searching for boost, steals it and turns on the ball as well. So you mentioned some unique avenues on these teams. I couldn't agree more. Spending more time on their opponent's end of the field, even when the ball's on the other side. But some boost steals, some timely swipes at the ball could still coordinate for an effective offense.
Yeah, I mean, it's a game of resources, just like any game, just like any competitive esport, right? And one of the few resources we have within this game is, of course, boost, and it really must be treated and respected thusly. A bouncing ball, that angle's just to the inside. Neither player gets an opportunity onto it from Temple, and they're just going to get gifted this one. Wow. So York can't correct the angle at the last second.
Yeah, that was a scary one. Temple nearly giving it up, but Duke has a double tap set up, and Duke will slam it down. 3-1 York.
Royal goal indeed, as Duke just gets this entire field with which to work. Fantastic stuff. 2-score pad here for the York Spartans green. A minute 48 left on this clock. Maybe some kickoff plays here for Temple Cherry. Nah, they just send one right here, and the follow-up is actually going to do more than maybe the initial contact did. Side and out. Vroom just coming a little bit too fast on that one. Vrooming too much, maybe a little bit on that one. Picks up corner boost on the way out. It's about resources again. Blink, fantastic shot.
Felt like Blink had some pep in their step there ever since the kickoff. And MVP in terms of the team performance here. 4 shots, 1 save, 2 of the team's 2 goals. Blink amping up the pace here for Temple to try and keep them on this match. Just 1 point away, and it's Blink with another freebie. That's going to be a tied-up game.
Going to be a tied-up game and a hat trick on top. My goodness, Blink is getting fed right here. This pass from Vroom. I believe that was pretty similar situations to the previous one. Shot goes up, ends up to just be a pass off the backboard. Excuse me, gets put right in the bread basket of this player. Another kickoff, another go. 90 seconds to go. We're tied all the way up.
See who will extend off of that. Blink once again under the ball here, trying to work off the momentum that they're spurring up. But Freaka, just the player you don't want behind the ball if you are Temple. And now Duke up and at him. Off the ceiling, flip into it towards the top corner. It's going to be wide. Vroom unable to get access onto the ball. Freaka stealing the boost, getting back in the back wall. Challenge made by Soldier Bum. Touching the ball won't go. Defense at it first. Duke air dribble takes on Ralkinson, and you can see the boost efficiencies there from Temple Cherry. They're having a hard time keeping this defense in order. And the resources up, and Ralkinson, even on 0 boost, gets the stop, pushes ahead, and tries to maneuver Duke off this ball.
Down low, Freaka. You could tell they wanted a bite. They wanted to try and get this one in, but a wise decision to split that one, go to the other side of the field, and get on the defensive quick, because Temple was ready to flip this field and try and put points into board. 17 seconds to go here. Flip against 2 of them and wins against both of them until the kind of last tap right there. Maybe a passer towards the middle. It's a rolling ball picked up by Freaka. We know how this story has gone before.
Ball will die at 0 seconds. So we got extra time. We got overtime for game number 1. Final showing for both teams to try to get the tone setter here in this matchup. A fiery display right off the rip. Crossbar touch. And Temple Cherry, wipe the sweat off your brow because you just got one barely saved.
Yeah, there's been a couple of opportunities that just a difference of like a half a degree or something like this. Might have been the couple of scores at this point, but no harm, no foul here if you're Temple Cherry. York, you just got to keep on a trucking. To the corner we go. Freaka just tries to kind of nose this one in, but this is a big transition quickly. Soldier Bum, player we haven't really talked about as much, Pyro. Getting involved in that one, saving it for the squad.
Well, it's been 100% goal participation from the other two players. That's partly why. And, well, every goal's been assisted by York, except for this one. Duke says, I'll do it myself. Calls game for York.
6 shots, 2 goals right there. Assist and a save. Duke doing a fantastic job and a royal performance here in game number 1 of possibly 7. And I say possibly, even though we've had 2 sweeps so far, because we just tied the amount of overtime games we've seen in the past 8, right? Looking at, what is this, 11 shots attempted there for York, 7 on the other side. This starts to be a difference that might arch the eyebrow a little bit.
Certainly. And for Temple Cherry, I think it's frustrating because you were sort of out of this game with a 1-3 score line. You get that kickoff goal from Blink to tie it up afterwards. It feels like you've got that fighting chance back, and then you concede an OT. But at least the fight was there, right? You don't want to wait for that tied up equalizer moment to happen later in the series. So it's good to see the competition coming out from Temple. I love to see that. But York is a team I'm really excited about, Tugboat, because I'm seeing some of the Smash Esports team give them hype in the chat here. You were talking about the coach having some Halo experience here. I'm thinking, what does this York Esports program not do?
That's a short list, I'll tell you that much. And what they also don't do is drop game number 1s. What we've seen so far, granted it's been sweeps, blah, 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 but like the logic falls through a little bit when they're just sweeps of like, oh, team who scores first goes forth and takes down a series and whatnot. A lot of fight in these Temple Owls. We saw 2-0s, then 5-2s for other 2 games to start off these series thus far. This one hands down closer.
Close contest. It may continue to be called by margins. But if we see a game 2 that's anything similar, game number 1, then, well, it's going to be a hot and fiery start from the York Spartans green. Soldier Bum with the first goal of the series.
Wow, so it's another early one. I believe the previous one was 4-4-7. This one at 4-4-4. Same situation, York Spartans striking first. Kickoff situations thus far continue to entertain, right? It hasn't been like the initial kickoff like we saw in previous, like the first 3 seconds, but it's the possession off of the kickoff that goes forth and garners a goal.
Right. Yeah, it's very important to keep your eye on those kickoff plays because some players will be more passive off of it. Other players much more proactive. And you've got to see how that shakes out, whether a player is cheating really heavily and trying to get that second touch immediately, or wants to play for that possession, slow things down a little bit. You're starting to see that out of York as they're bumped into the play. A demo handed to another player of Temple Cherry. Forget about slowing it down. We've got fireworks.
Yeah, to take that one, maybe save it for a future game. York is getting touches for sure. There we go. I was going to say, York is definitely getting touches, but the going towards that goal just seemed like a little bit harder until Soldier Bum had something to say about it. Fantastic pass.
Yeah, you love to see the teamwork there. Once again, most goals go assisted by the York Spartans green. They are keyed in and focused on finding their teammates before finding the back of the net. And that's allowing for these efficient avenues. And their 2-goal lead potentially make it 3. Rolkinson says not yet.
Great denial here. This one goes kind of back to the middle. Trying to follow that one up is Freaka. Walking the dog all the way in. No, Duke almost found another one right there.
Yeah, Duke was the one to nearly get it. But the possession wears on. They've got a chance here at the half-court line. Rolkinson steers it back towards Blink's trajectory. He's able to find one touch off the corner, but they're clustered here. Vroom, final member of the defense. Rolkinson pushing up for the counterattack. See, simple routine saves coming out of York Spartans green, and Vroom denied that shot, and he's bumped away. Coordinates a pass over to Wilkinson. Oh, and it's just off the near post. The rebound, though, is good for Vroom.
Nice. Like, it's so funny because they're literally going like horizontal, like kind of parallel with this goal, like almost the entire time. Wilkinson, the only one kind of facing dead on it, blink at the last second. 1-2 as of right now. Temple Cherry purchased themselves a little bit of wiggle room back, maybe. A little bit more pressure against York Spartans to bring this one back to 2. Initial kickoff. 1 here from the side of Temple Cherry, but it's going to be boost attained for York, and something tells me that's going to be a little more important in the ensuing offensive possession. And it is. All the way, it brings this all the way out. Frika was waiting in the wings for that one. A wise demo right there to send Frika back to the other side of the pitch.
Yeah, there's a lot of demos in this game that can sort of arrive unnecessarily, right? They have zero to little impact in the game, but taking out the upcoming shot taker is a great demolition to make when you're on defense. Normally you think about demos on offense, clear the lane for the shot. No, you want to actually take out that shot taker, and Temple were very keen to that opportunity, but seems like more shots will be found by York. This one rebounded by Frika. Air dribbling towards the net. Wilkinson can't get a hand on it, so it's Vroom instead. Credited with the save.
Yeah, I like that. They had 2 players up there ready to make a play onto this ball, deny anything coming on in there. And it was a wise decision just to abandon the offensive ideas at that point and then kind of reposition best they can. Frika is going to take all 3 members of Temple just to get this ball away from them. And an easy follow-up there from the other members of York. No, this last player just getting absolutely battered in the back, trying to avoid demos at this point. That's what we've gotten to.
Yeah, nevertheless, though, I mean, you've got York Spartans green still holding on to this 1-goal lead with those possessions. And the last time that ball had hit the post like that, a follow-up was found instantly from Temple Cherry. This time around, they've got to work for it, though. Vroom counteracts the defensive stop from York as they pass to Wilkinson. Wilkinson nearly sets up for the double tap. Link off the backboard. Vroom is going to commit for the shot and find the fruits of their labor with a equalizer.
Tasty fruit indeed. Equalizer 2-2 as of right now. Also 2 is the shot attempts. Also 2 is the assist. And also 2 is the saves right there as well. So fantastic stuff for that well-rounded player. 49 seconds to go right here. Tied up situation. What do you do? I mean, these teams seemed kind of willing to go to overtime at the end of that previous game, of that game number 1, Pyro J. Something tells me with the turned-up tempo that that's not really going to be the same neutral situation they're happy with. Okay, Vroom knows that that's definitely the case. Easy block. Not easy block, but a great block, I should say. Hard as it was to attain.
No, I agree with you. I think that there's no more start or sequence of this game. It's pedal to the metal. It's trying to score now. Blink tries to get Duke off guard on the counterattack, but Duke handles this ball so well. Grabs the flip reset. Will be able to wave dash on the recovery and get to that ball before Vroom. Maybe your Spartans green have a chance at the last second, or maybe Blink does as well. Duke puts it on the ground, and it will indeed be OT, whether it was reluctant or not.
Hey, we got what we wanted here, Pyro. We wanted a little bit of a longer series. Well, heck, even if York even takes us down, if they do take it down 4-0, well, hey, at least we got several overtime games, twice as many in this series already than we got in our first 8 games of broadcast. 15 seconds ago, no real possession retained off of kickoff. A lot of physical play right there as Duke goes for the attempt. His teammates trying to muscle out the defenders, get him out of the way for an open net.
And I think this last goal is going to come off of Temple over executing, and they may be able to find that goal like Vroom just did to force OT, or York Spartans green take it for the counter attack. That being said, Vroom is ready to extend to that attacking sequence. Duke sets up for the shot. It gets over the defender. Wilkinson attempts the save, but it's just too much to handle. Duke credited with the final goal.
Jumps up to it. Oh, man. That's Well, it is a technical own goal, but he's making plays on balls that probably would have been gotten off of rebound. I don't know. That's a feels bad man one way or the other, and especially given the same exact situation, right? The same one score difference in overtime after just a frenzy for the first 5 minutes. Taking it to the numbers here and what they mean. 11 shots attempted here from York, 6, even though they might have been as evenly as distributed as they possibly can from Temple, and then 8 saves. The simple fact that 11 of those 11, 8 needed to be saved, the other 3 made it in, tells me that this is a York Spartans squad that doesn't really have a problem with efficient and on-point shots.
Yeah, they also don't have a problem being the clutch team. I just feel like both overtimes in this series, they've been locked in. And it feels like Temple Cherry are like, it's more of a gauntlet that they didn't want to be in the first place. Like, York just had full control in game 1 OT and game 2 OT. And so I'm really appreciating the composure that we're seeing out of York. And normally that's the time to panic. That's the time to sweat. But right off that OT kickoff, they're ready to go. And Duke ends up being that goal scorer as well. So credit to them. I think if you are Temple Cherry here, you probably want to get the win in regulation because OT ain't working out too well for you.
Yeah, and that's kind of the mentality that we were talking about, right? Like, one of these teams is a little bit more willing to take it on into overtime given what happened in game number 1. The other one, especially now, where they're halfway done with this series, right? If it is going to be a sweep, much longer if it's not, if it's going to go on to games number 7. But if you're Temple, you don't necessarily want it to get there. You want to take this W right now and boil this best of 7 series down to a best of 5 and just string 2 more together right there. After that was or best of 7 to best of 5, excuse me. And so to just string 2 more together right there. Now you're staring at a 3-1 situation. It's the other squad that has to come back and pull the full reverse sweep.
Yeah, we've seen what teams have had to do when they're down 0-3 or even 0-2 in the series. It does not turn out too well for them. So Temple Esports Cherry, the time is now to win, but at the same time, we've seen them get punished on counterattacks. We've seen them score off of overextending as well. I'll see that third man of Vroom just barrel in for the shot when their 2 teammates are on the opponent's backboard or still looking for boost. If they miss the shot, even if the 50 goes wrong, it's going to be in your net. So there's an appreciation that comes with that. I like the risk taking coming from Temple Esports Cherry. I really do. But you got to pick the right moments to do it for sure. So as we reset this game lobby, as we get ready for this next game, I'm excited to see those adjustments and that very, game sense wise decision making to be made from Temple.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing. I'm trying to think what exactly does they're already being physical, right? They're already being snapped to with the ball and whatnot. They're already, really taking this off of kickoff. The only thing I maybe think of is just a little bit more passing plays across the middle of this field. Because as we were commentating on, especially between Vroom and Blink, there was so much parallel play right here because they're just trying to keep the ball away from this defense and a shutdown defense it has been so far. The York Spartans, right? They've only needed to put up a single save in the previous game, a single one.
Yeah, if that's all it takes, then you definitely need that defense tested more. You've got to get that defense to be made honest, right? Make them play the defense that they've been practicing. So we'll get into game 3. We'll see if that defense is punished more, if they keep having an easy time only having to make 1 save in a game. Pressure's on for Temple Cherry as they have to come up big in game 3.
Another opportunity seemed like it was squandered. That was a shot attempted, no save necessary on the other side. So York's not going to put that number up on the board, at least not yet. Out to it, Soldier Bum trying to cut this one out from under this defender. I believe that was Raukinson that was trying to get this clear and then walk the dog back the other way. Corner boost picked up. A little bit of resource to now for any offenders who want to try and come in here and think they're going to have an easy way of going.
I think Raukinson's just trying to shake off some jitters here. You had that technical own goal at the end of the game where you just got to try to save it away. And then this shot that appears open at the start and it's skied high. It's important to compose yourself in these moments. You've got plenty of the series still to do that. In fact, you got to reset. Demoed on the play there. So the respawn with a third of a tank as Frika finds themselves in an unfortunate position. The aerial to take, but 0 boost to get there.
Yeah, and when you're able to make a lot happen with not a whole lot of resources, that is also a mark of a great Rocket League team. Ralkinson, almost the flashiest goal on broadcast today, like putting the nose up, trying to get out in front of this one, just can't quite close that space. 90 seconds into this one, I have to say this is a W Temple Cherry, right? At this point, we're looking at either 1 or even 2 goals against them with no answer.
So far, so good. Clean sheet. And to sort of temper the scoring from York Spartans Green is definitely, I agree, a good thing for both squads, potentially. Just kind of depends on who you see end up scoring first. And surprisingly, Temple Cherry have had the better of the possession. Vroom's going to set up right above the net here, right in the paint. But the rest of Temple back in their own half, getting that boost back to mount another attack. This looks good for Blink. Air dribble, potentially the dunk. It requires 2 defenders to get there, and Ralkinson takes advantage.
See, that's what I'm talking about, right? This high-flying acrobatics from Blink pulls 2. It was necessary as well, especially with the way they flattened his car at the very, very end of that. I genuinely believe that was necessary to keep Blink from scoring. When you commit 2, you have to have a third there. York doesn't, and Temple Cherry goes up first for the first time in this series.
There it is, the lead. Now, what can you do with it? It's not about the cards you're handed, but how you play them. And right now, you have the chance to grab a lead and hold on to it with half of the game remaining. Duke setting up high for the team of Temple Cherry. It looks so scrumptious that 2 players went up for it there for Temple Cherry. Now Vroom set aside, 1v1 on the defense, gets a hand on the ball. That's a great play, but they've got to make another as Duke, sky high, strikes down the meteor.
Honestly, kind of a similar situation, at least with how it turned out from York's goal to Temple's, right? Temple ties up the defense on the other side and forces the man advantage. York does the exact same thing on the other side. It just took 3 players to make a play on the ball to get that final score. And that's always indicative of high-level teams, right? Being able to make multiple plays on ball from different members back to back to back to have that kind of like machine gun rat-a-tat of shots.
Oh, we almost saw a machine gun of goals at this point because it was a beautiful setup from Duke over to a teammate of Soldier Bum. But Soldier Bum just flipped past the ball. Now Soldier Bum another opportunity on that shot, but it's going to go by the wayside. Frika getting in front of the attempt from Vroom. Tough play out of Soldier Bum. 0 boost to make the clear, but it's a pass over to Duke, who gets 2 tries off of the sidewall. Dunk play off the backboard, but it's with quite a bit of velocity that will help Temple Cherry to keep the back and forth going. Oh, and Ralkinson makes the save. Had the streak all the way across the net for it.
Breaking time and space, it seems like disassembling his car in midair and putting it back together once he got there or something. My goodness. What an effort. What an effort. Still tied up. Minute 15 to go or so. Temple Cherry back at the offensive side of this pitch, but they just didn't really enjoy as much time in last time. This ball comes against backboard, and I'm not sure if that was really lined up for the rest of the teammates. If Temple Cherry loses possession here, that's going to be brutal.
Could very well be, but I like this from Soldier Bum. Air dribble across the way, getting impactful touches after the first one, forcing that 50 to help out the team, and plenty of defense there from Temple Cherry. They saw the incoming shot. Would have transpired had they not gotten in front of it. Someone had to play the ball there. Soldier Bum setting up success for their team, going for the double tap themselves. Ends up misfiring, but you can see the light right now for York. That is finished off by Frika.
Yeah, so take a look at where these defenders are at the time, right? One's making a play on the ball, and then down low, I believe that's Ralkinson. Burns everything to get there. You kind of get a look at Vroom at the very, very last second. I think Temple Cherry might have been trying to cheat up a little bit and get a pass out so they can get a quick one here and break that tie the other way. It's so frequent that the dedication of resources is going to go forth and leave you deficient at the other side of the map, or other side of the pitch, excuse me.
Ralkinson. A chance still here for Temple Cherry. Vroom switches and up, turns quickly for the shot. It's still saved by Duke. Final opportunity now. Temple Cherry. They've got a couple tries. They were just nearly saved. Blink keeps the ball alive. Soldier Bum looks to put on the ground. And that's where the ball will lie. York holds the line for the Game 3 win.
Okay, I can breathe again here, Pyro J. Those last couple of seconds, man, when Duke comes up at this one, like on the defensive side of the ball, I feel like, oh, well all we need is a crash the net type situation. Temple Cherry is going to do this again. As it is, let's take it to the numbers, and these are pretty much as even as you can possibly get. 2 saves York, 3 saves Temple, 5 and 5 all the way across for the shots, distributedly about as evenly as they can. 1 goal versus 2, 1 assist versus 2. So all 3 goals in this game, the total from both teams, 100% assisted as well. This just rings true to me of another 2 teams that are working very well together.
It's a diligent effort, for sure. I think the story here started out with Temple Cherry of like the player Rolkinson, right? Trying to find their way around the pitch after a tough couple of moments. And then they come up as the shot taker, as the goal scorer. Like that's the moment you need to get fired up again and play your game. And that's exactly what we saw from Temple the rest of the game. They played their game. They got those few tries at the very end to push to another OT. Just couldn't get there in the end. But I feel like now they've found their spot. If they're going to win these games, it's going to be now while York are on their match point.
Yes, it's been 3 one-score games back to back to back. Folks, so far on broadcast, we have had 3 one-score games distributed across 8 individual games, right? Once again, hands down, host a series of our broadcast night. Vroom takes it low and slow and almost gets it going. This ball really hasn't left the ground in 20 seconds or so. That's the highest it's gone so far, as they now get that third dimension involved in this Rocket League game.
Well, there's actually Keep It Up game mode, limited time mode out in Rocket League right now. So maybe that was prep work done by both teams as ball's not seeing a whole lot of the ground right now. As you mentioned, it's being done majorly by Temple Cherry. Some good passing plays between each team. Momentary 2v2. Them on either side, but Blink on the boost. Respawn. Picks up a clear there. Soldier Bum. Touch denied there by Rolkinson. Let's see what Freaka can do here. Gets the dunk off the ceiling. Sets up for Duke. Gets a cute angle that forces all 3 defenders. They're all in the air. Soldier Bum can't close down, though, on the chance.
Yeah, if you're York, you got to be kicking yourself like twice on that one. Finally, this comes out, but this, if you're Duke and the York Spartans, has got to feel like it was about 12 seconds too late, right? We're not actually going to get that, but I mean, you heard the audible response from myself and Pyro. When you see all 3 members kind of falling through the air to the left side of the net for making a play, you can pretty much guarantee what's going to happen. That even these more middle levels, not Division 1, Division 2 necessarily, but the writing's on the wall at that point, right? I mean, come on.
Oh, for sure. And I think that's why Freaka's play should be applauded too, right? That lets you know that all those players are pretty much at a boost. And with that pinch play that he had to set up the pass, you're putting everyone in the wrong spot. But talk about right place, right time. Freaka sending himself down from the backboard to make that save.
Preparation begetting success. Gotta love it. Freaka also doing that without any boost. He's not gonna have to worry about that. Well, not gonna have to worry about that twice. Picks up big boost and then gets demoed for his efforts. The demo play and aggressive play between these 2 teams doth continue. Soldier Bum streaking out at that. Maybe a little bit of a fake, or maybe just kind of reading this hit not as hard as they kind of would have liked it. And Temple Cherry is honestly just having kind of a hard time getting this ball centered and going towards the middle of this pitch, right? They're having no problems getting it to the corners here, Pyro. You got to follow up after that, though, bro.
Oof. I agree. That wall ball can be tough. And when you talk about the exteriors, you got to talk about the net as well. The bar down shot at a Duke. The friendly roll. You can't get much more precise than that. In Game 4, Duke came ready to play.
2-score difference. I'm saying it with a bit of surprise in my voice because I believe it's been since Game 1 since we've even seen a 2-score differential. Crazy stuff. And also, just goes to show just how closely and evenly matched these 2 squads are. Temple Owls coming into this matchup 1-2. Different story, 2-0 undefeated for York, but still playing like to the absolute nines right now.
Oh, I like this from Freak. You're trying to take it to the corner to offer up some additional chances. The defense was about neck and neck in terms of recovering to save that shot. And they'll keep a possession for it. Duke setting up the double tap pass down to Freaka. Those two are dynamic.
It really is. Freaka, 2 saves on this one, an assist, a shot, and now a goal. Going to be assisted there from Duke as they set this one up all day long. At this point, a 3-score differential, no question necessary there. I am certain this is the first time we've seen a 3-score differential between these two teams. As that player goes for a double tap kind of opportunity. That's a dangerously centered ball, but Duke has enough boost to pay the bills. At least on the first one, Ralkinson. Little bit of a new lease on life here, Pyro, perhaps.
Ralkchuk, I mean, that is right off the crossbar, down in the net. And a player that a lot of people have been calling on is answering the call when they're needed most. Temple Cherry showing pulse.
Blink down low, meets 2 of them. Can't quite get a Temple Cherry follow-up after that one. And all 3 members over on the same side. Blink finally gets away from this one, but loses the 50 up to the air, and the player that went up for it. A little bit more pressure here as Ralkinson was looking to continue that trajectory here.
Wow. Close one there on the goal line. That one was a roller that anybody could have picked up. And another moment where York might be kicking themselves. The last time they did that, they scored right thereafter. Soldier Bum looking for the back of the net in that case, but won't find it on this occasion. Duke, the clear, has Soldier on the cross on the other side. No boost steal there for Soldier, but still such a nuisance getting in front of that ball.
About 50 seconds to go right here. And that is to say, we're about 10 seconds away from Temple Cherry putting everything into an offensive effort. So don't be surprised if this lead actually gains here for York Spartans, even though this has been pretty darn even-handed. Back to the other way, at least attempts for it. Vroom. Nah, that'll be easily met there from Freaka. A clear to the right side, burns about 3 or 4 more seconds, and that is the most important resource right now for Temple Cherry.
Is indeed time wearing thin. You got your last opportunity here from Temple Cherry. But in any case, it looks like York Spartans green just running the red carpet, running the clock down. They've done the work needed, whether it's an OT or staving off that extra time. This time it's going to be their greatest lead for the win. 4-0, the sweet victory from your York Spartans green.
Started off with a couple of overtime situations back-to-back. Got to the third game here with another one-score situation. Completely doable either way. This last one just gets away from just a little bit. And I'm sorry for saying it. They said no swearing on broadcast here, but 4 sweeps in a row, man. 4 sweeps. That should be a swear word. Or 3 sweeps in a row, excuse me.
Yeah, listen, and I hope if you're like a program, maybe a coach, or even a player that's looking at the standings and looking at the score sheets and saying, oh, well, this team swept that team. That was an obliteration. You know now after you saw the sweeps today that that's not really the case of a lot of sweeps. You saw this match start out with 2 OTs. A lot of them, all of them were really close games, and most of the series were tonight. So it's a battle of teams that could have won games on either side, but at the end of the day, some teams were dominant. And in the case for York, especially in overtime, they just had full control of the game. And there's something to be said about that composure, about that clutch factor that I think we truly saw out of York today. So kudos to them. Extending their undefeated record, if you can approve my call on that, Tug.
Hang on, let me look at the numbers. All right, 1, 1, and 1. Okay, yeah, that's 3 in a row. All right, so Temple Esports, good news is 1 and 3 is you're not like eliminated by any means from any kind of postseason stuff or anything else like that from an NECC. And hey, maybe the twice good news is now the time that you get to turn it up. Now is the time that you really get tested in the next couple of weeks across the middle of the season. Because I'll tell you, 2 more losses, especially back-to-back, right? Like, you go 1 for 2 in the next couple of weeks, there's still probably like a little bit more of an opportunity. But you go like now 1-3, you go down to 1-5, your season's definitely over right here. So not over with yet here for Temple, but pressure, as we know, creates diamonds. And I'm interested to see what the Temple Owls will do with the Temple Esports Cherry Squad specifically. Obviously, multiple teams, Rocket League style, coming out from the Temple University Owls. Big shout out to them. I am glad. I got to say, I am glad that we got this very, very even-handed, even though it was a sweep, game for the third match of our broadcast here, Pyro J. I want to go ahead at this point, take an opportunity to give a big shout-out to some of the entities, right, that make competitions just like this one possible. And the first entity, the most important one, is, of course, Chippy. Chippy producing away for us, making our jobs as casters that much easier. We very much appreciate you. Very much appreciate you. I also want to give a shout out to Winslow's Farms. Yes, Winslow's Farms. I had the read right here. Oh my goodness. No way.
You had it.
If you have it, go ahead and do it, my friend. I'm looking. Here you go. I got it. Sorry. Made in Wisconsin goes great with gaming. Sorry about that, Winslow's Farms. That's Winslow's Farms legendary. That's legendary. Wisconsin meat sticks since 1977. 14 mouth-watering flavors, so meet your heart out. Winslow's Farms legendary Wisconsin meat sticks since 1977. It's quite a while. 77, right?
It is indeed, yeah. You gotta credit Wenzel's on their experience there. So thank you to those entities indeed for making this stream possible. Thanks to all the teams as well and the programs that tuned in to watch their teams play. I know that for the most part, we like to stream these matches to the collegiate fan base, but also you, the fans of the players, the coaches, the staff, the admins, everyone that works behind the scenes. So thanks for what you do with your esports programs, your teams, your players to make these moments happen here at the NECC. We're so excited to bring those stories to life. So appreciate y'all tuning in.
We are. Really are. Want to give a big shout out to Extron as well. Some really high-end AV hardware as well. They've been doing it for quite a while as well. Not sure if it's before 77. It's more recent than 77. I think it's before 1977. Not 100% sure. It's not a competition, especially not through Winslow's Meat Farms than AV equipment, right? Big shout out to Extron for making competitions just like this one possible. I want to go ahead and let you guys know, yes, the NECC is not done this week for esports-wise. There's a little League of Legends action tomorrow. 4 p.m. Pacific time, that's 7 p.m. Eastern, as well as the Overwatch 2 on Friday. That's going to be about it from me. Pyro J, do you have anything else for the good people before we do bid them adieu?
No, I gave my thank you and my shout out to the teams and the programs. My thank you to you as well, Tug Bud. Thanks for joining me in the booth. Always a good time.
Always a good time. Been too long, Pyro. Appreciate y'all for watching. Tune in tomorrow for a little League of Legends action here at the NECC. If you enjoyed what you heard, bink, right down there on socials for myself and Pyro. Thank y'all for watching. We will catch you on the flip side.